Did you know that financial success is all based on one component? And in this video, we are going to share with you exactly what that is. My name is Carmen.
And I'm Darius. And what we're going to discuss in this video is how mastering your mindset is the key to your budgeting success. Now, the reason why it's important along our journey is because our mindset leads to management. Management leads to cash flow. Cash flow leads to debt. Less debt leads to investing, and investing leads to owning your own lifestyle. Now, before we jump into the video, make sure you subscribe, hit the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to be notified whenever we post new videos.
So let's jump into this, folks. Like Darius said, we're going to talk about mindset, and we do talk about mindset a lot on this video, but we have to continue hammering it home because our mindset is always shifting and evolving. Yours should always shift and evolve, and we have to remind ourselves of this journey that we're on, right? So the very first thing that we want to make sure that you understand is that your mindset is the lens through which you view and approach your financial decisions. So if you think money is never available, that's going to affect how you approach financial decisions. If you think money is plentiful and abundant, that's going to affect how you approach your financial decisions. Okay. So let's go back to what Darius was saying earlier, and we have to understand this path that we're on, right? So when you understand your mindset, meaning what do you think about money? That's going to lead into, hey, what I think about money is X. Maybe I should do something about it, which should lead to management. So call it a debt, call it a spending plan, whatever you want to call it. The idea is just having more conscious understanding and awareness of what's happening with your income. And then when that happens, we believe that that should then lead you to the world of cash flow. Why? Because once you're aware of the money that's coming in and out of your household, then you start going, hey, Darius, we have an extra $200 here. Hey, we had an extra $300 here. Why are we just spending this frivolously and not thinking anything about it? You see where we're going? So then cash flow, having a few extra bucks around, then leads to, hey, what am I going to do with this? Let me start putting it on my debt so I can get rid of my debt. And then when you have less debt, then all of that money that you were spending on your income on the debt every single month, then you can take that and start investing, which will then allow you to retire in your 30s, like Darius and I did from corporate America. Investing is going to allow you to free yourself so that you can start owning your own lifestyle, like we talk about all the time on this channel. So Darius went through it quickly in the intro, but I wanted to go back through it to make sure that you all understand that this is like a cycle. It's a process. And as you start mastering every step along this journey, your mindset is going to shift and evolve.
Now, the thing about what Carmen said I want to hone in on is the fact that that $200 or $300 was always there. It's just that our beliefs about money heavily influenced the way we spent that $200, $300. It affected, if we saved that $200 or $300, it affected our budgeting habits. Now, here's an example. A scarcity mindset. You might always feel like you need more, and it makes it challenging for you to stick to a budget, which was the problem in our case. We had a scarcity mindset. Now, once we
couldn't tell me I ain't have a scarcity mindset, though.
Right. But once we started to change our mindset, the money was already there. We just had a different opinion about it.
Totally.
So the nice thing about the conversation that we're having is the fact that your mindset is not fixed. It can change, and it does change. Matter of fact, as we go through our journey, it's going to change along with the journey. That's why when you have conversations with people who are further along on a journey, like in the investing mode, they think differently, they talk differently because they have a different mindset around their finances.
Absolutely. And it's really simple. And these are things that we started to learn along the way. So we want you to learn from our scars, because really we kept like banging our heads on the wall, like, why can't it be better? Why can't it be better? And we recognized that our minds and our hearts weren't open to receiving the information. I don't know if anyone's ever told you the teacher will appear when the student is ready. It's that same exact concept where it's like once you are mentally prepared to start taking on more knowledge with regards to your finances, that's going to start opening up different windows to you. So that's why for us, especially like what we talk about with infinite banking, that was introduced to us at a certain point during our financial journey when we could mentally receive the message and respect the message that was given to us. So going back to the self-assessment pieces, understanding where you are, scarcity or abundant, that's fine. Just know where you are so that you can then become conscious of it, right? Awareness is consciousness. And then take that consciousness and start putting action to it.
Right. Now, let's identify like our mindset. And before we can master our mindset, we have to understand exactly where we are.
Totally.
Just like a budget, you have to identify where you are financially before you can start making decisions on where do you go from there.
Yeah.
It's the same thing that we're going to do with our mindset. We have to identify where we are mentally before we can move on to successfully budget. So if here's an example, if you get paid on Friday and you feel a certain way, you're excited about getting paid, but then you pay all your bills and you look in your account, you don't have any money in the next week or two. What mindset is that? What mindset do you have? How do you feel when you're in that situation, or when you're in that position of paying all your bills and you look up and there's nothing left for you? What are you telling yourselves mentally about your current financial situation? Are you doing something differently about it? How you feel in situations like that will let you know what type of mindset that you're currently in, and the reason why you can't move on to step number 2.
Yeah. And I think the other thing to note is that you're not alone, right? So don't always think that this is just your specific situation. We have been in this situation, and you never know, members of your family may be in this situation, but they don't know that they can do something about it. So that's why we want to have this conversation, to let you know that you're not crazy. If you are going through this or feeling some kind of way, because at any point along this journey, you may hit some bumpy roads and need some advice and need some guidance. And that's what we're here for, right? So cue our commercial, by the way.
Are you looking for a life insurance policy specifically designed to help you accomplish your financial goals?
And if you have a policy, or if you're looking for more education, would you like to be a part of a community with like-minded individuals who are all using life insurance to accomplish their financial goals? If so, click on the link below. We would love for you to join the Wealth Nation Money School.
Now, the first step to changing our negative beliefs about money, or a scarcity mindset about money or our financial situation, is to set clear financial goals. This is a crucial step to cultivating a positive mindset, because what it does is it gives you something to work towards. It gives you a purpose and direction in your financial journey. And what we tend to do when it comes to our goals, is we tend to imagine ourselves already
at the top of the mountain.
Yeah. And that's perfect, because what we do on the opposite end is those negative beliefs that we have, we're subconsciously visualizing ourselves as not being successful or failing, or already not having money before we even get paid the next month. So what setting up goals allows us to do is that it creates subconsciously for us to start imagining ourselves already being successful, already managing our money successfully, and working towards something that we want to accomplish for ourselves.
Yeah. And it all goes back to, like, what do you want? Do you want to envision yourself at the top of the mountain, or do you want to envision yourself at the bottom of the mountain? And that is all about mindset, right? So thinking about, the goals and things that you want to set for yourself. And that was something that was huge for Darius and I to do together as a couple, specifically because then we had shared ownership in our finances and how we approached our money. So the next thing that I want to tap into is talking about the techniques that you can start with today to start having a successful spending plan. So the first thing that I want to make sure that you understand is that you have to spend with intention. We're not talking about, okay, I got $20 here, and now all of a sudden I went shopping because I just happened to have $20. That is not intentional spending. Okay. So what we're talking about is dividing your income into 3 categories. So we want you to intentionally save money. We want you to intentionally put money towards your fixed expenses, meaning expenses that you have to have in order to survive. And then your flexible expenses is everything else. And this is just a simple way of thinking about how your income should be organized in these specific categories. Because sometimes what happens is we tend to spend too much money in our flexible expenses, or we're not saving money and we're just all over the place. So the idea is understanding these 3 categories so that you can move forward with purpose. And again, if you want to know more about this information, then I definitely suggest that you click on the link below so that you can join the Wealth Nation, because we teach all about this inside our money school. And these strategies are all about how to spend money more wisely, because you have to have a solid foundation if you want to do infinite banking, what we teach. If you want to start financing your own lifestyle, you have to be on the right path with your spending before you start some of the principles that Darius and I talk about, because we don't want you to wreck your systems. And you have to have the solid foundation. I can't stress it enough in order for you to go into the next step and open your mindset to start using your life insurance policy to finance your lifestyle.
Right. Now, when it comes to budgeting, you have to understand that it's not a set it and forget it. We spend money pretty much every day. So our budgeting has to be something that we do, that we just can't set it up and forget about it. We, at the minimum, we have to manage our funds whenever we get paid, be it every 2 weeks or every month. We have to be actively involved with our finances and making sure that we are working towards our goals. Because if we're not working towards something, then what's going to happen is that scarcity mindset is going to creep back in there, and we're going to forget what we've been working towards in the first place. So we have to consciously be working towards our goals, our mental goals and our financial goals, so that we are prepared whenever it's time to move on to the next step. You can't move on to step 2 without mastering step number 1.
Totally.
And that's important for us to understand when it comes to our financial journey. Because we see it whenever we talk to other successful individuals. You can't skip steps. You have to start where you are and master that before you can move on to the next one.
No matter how much you think you can, you skip that step, you're gonna go right back to 1. You're gonna eat that humble pie. But the set it forget it point that I want to go back to is real quick is it's gonna get easier. So I want to put it into perspective is as you start managing your finances, I want you to think about the first time you started driving or doing something that was different for you. It's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna be a little bit frustrating, but it's because you're not used to it. But then all of a sudden you're going to start, getting in that driver's seat, feeling more comfortable, feeling more confident, taking a left turn, with 2-way traffic, things like that. You'll start to really own this process and it'll become easier, and you won't always have to do as much management. It's more so just of maintenance to make sure that you stay on track with your financial goals.
Right. Now, here's the thing to also understand is that it's not going to always be smooth sailing.
True.
Things are going to happen, and based on how you have prepared mentally for those things that happen, it could be your setback or your set up.
Love it.
So, for example, for myself, a couple years ago, I got laid off from my job, but instead of that being a setback, it was a setup for us to start thinking differently about how we manage our funds, and the fact that we have 2 incomes coming in, and maybe we only need to manage our household based off of 1. That would not have happened without that setup from being laid off from my job.
Totally. And we have pages and pages of what you could have considered a setback. We turn that into a setup, which has transformed our mindset and how we perceive money. And that's why we want to make sure, again, like we're not just telling you guys this because it sounds nice with roses and pretty sunshine. These are the things that we continue to go through. And I'm so glad that you talked about it, Darius. It's like, it's not always going to go how you want it to go. But like I said earlier, if you have the awareness, you have the consciousness, and then bumps in the road or hardships or whatever become easier because you already know how to navigate around them. And that's what we want to teach the Wealth Nation family how to do, is to have peace of mind. Because once you start adapting this awareness and get your finances in order, it doesn't matter what snowstorm is going to come your way. You have the peace of mind because you know that you have savings, you have your investments in place, you have whatever shields up, you have your own insurance. Let's just call it this way. Your insurance is locked down, and and it doesn't matter what's going to come your way because you have everything that you need in place.
Right. Now, another thing we want you to do is don't be afraid to seek support when you need it.
Totally.
I think as I would say for me personally, it was hard for me to have a conversation about money because that's something that we just didn't talk about outside of our family. But there's people that can help you along your journey, like accountability partners or financial advisors, can be a game changer for you. And you have to seek out support from these individuals who are professionals in this particular aspect of your financial journey, and tell them everything that they need to know. Tell them what you need, because a closed mouth don't get fed. And unless you say something, who will know what you're experiencing? Yeah.
And the same thing, we tell our clients this all the time. Like, if you don't involve us in what's happening with your financial lifestyle, then don't expect us to help you. Because if you have, certain hardship and then we don't know about it, we can't help you navigate these routes. Right. So always keep an open mind. Don't let pride keep you in the poorhouse because it is just no place for anybody. So real quick, in wrapping up, what we want you to do is check out our next video so that you can continue to stay on this mindset track and get better and better as you go.
Remember to own your own lifestyle,
or someone else will.